Hi, everybody. This is Pam Snell from Axmut IT, and we are very happy to be hosting Debra Parent in her Recruiting Playbook webinar. Debra Parent has 34 years experience in HR management. She helps clients with recruiting and retention and will be teaching the Capstone Senior Strategic Management at UMass Dartmouth. She's been a business professor at Bristol Community College and has an MBA, 3 national HR certification, and is a certified coach. Thank you for coming, Debra.
You're welcome.
We're excited to hear this.
Yes, and I'm excited to share. This playbook, and you think of a football playbook is sort of how I laid it out, is designed to give you some tactics to increase your candidate flow, because that's what we're trying to do as recruiters, is increase candidate flow to fill your positions and to keep a healthy pipeline in filling your positions so that you have folks to select. I have actually implemented all of these tactics. There's actually more than 30 now. The list grows. I've worked at maybe 4 different organizations, plus in my business, which has been 8 years. I have on average 20 clients, different companies and organizations, firms, practices, what have you. So wide variety of industries, but it's all the same. Recruiting's the same, whether I'm recruiting for a physician or I'm recruiting for a front desk office manager, a truck driver, or what have you. It's really the same basic concepts that we're using to recruit. So out of these 30 tactics, interestingly enough, I have never done them at one organization. I have, throughout my 35 years now, I have implemented all of these tactics, but just never in the same place. And I really stopped to think about whether if I implemented these 30 tactics or 30 plus tactics in all the same place, if, candidate flow would just be, so unbelievable because of all these, it's like an engine. All of these tactics they work together. So let me just dive right in here. And the reason I'm doing this is really because of the difficulty. Hold on, we have somebody else coming. All right. And Yurada, let's let her join on. The reason I'm doing this, and I did this, is because it's so difficult to increase candidates, right? And there's a lack of candidates, and it's definitely a candidates market. Every client that we have struggles to find candidates. That's the main call to action. Typically, candidates have 2 to 3 offers on the table, sometimes more. Kate and I recruit daily, and literally we move extremely fast because candidates have so many choices. Yep, ghosting's now a verb that we all probably are familiar with, where folks don't show up, ghost for the interview, ghost for the start of the job. So that's, kind of what was the impetus in me starting this. So you have to kind of develop a recruiting strategy. It's not a one-time thing. You don't develop a recruiting strategy when you have the vacancy. You have to kind of develop the strategy beforehand, because these activities have to be done before you have that opening. It's too late then. And you got to dedicate the resources, and some of these things cost money. A lot of them don't, but some of them do. So you have to definitely dedicate resources, and that's 2 things, right? Time and money. And then you have to evaluate these tactics to make, at regular intervals, whether that be every 6 months, and then make changes from there. You've got to refine these programs. So essentially, it's not a one and done playbook. It's kind of a living document. Definitely a driver is needed to make it happen, and whether that be yourself or somebody else, and it's beyond HR scope. What I'm going to talk about is definitely involves how you market your firm, your company, your practice, how you manage operations, how you schedule people, and what you expect from them. You may have to change all of those, because of the market today. And it definitely requires the support of the ownership. So here's play number one, dive right in. Number one is career page enhancement, and you can utilize, Steve Dubin at PR Works or whoever you choose for your marketing firm. But you definitely need to enhance that criteria, that careers page, because the second place the candidate goes after seeing your job post is your careers page. And if they cannot find your careers page, that's the first problem. So these three companies offer outstanding careers pages. I think I would review all three, and then you can sort of derive from that what you need to do for yours. So these are some, I would say, A+ career pages. And the things you want in your careers page, and think about your current careers page, Joanna, and Inurata, is that how you say your name? Inurata?
Yes.
Okay, good. I can't see you, but I can, I can hear you. So the things that you want to see in your career pages: employee testimonials, a business owner video, employee videos. DE&I is diversity, equity, and inclusion. If you don't have a program, you at least need to have a statement or a declaration as to, what you're doing for diversity, equity, and inclusion in your organization. People care about that today. Candidates care about that. Perks and benefits, any charitable participation if your company is involved with charities, and there's employee involvement, people like that. Candidates in particular, ability to apply without a specific role, name and contact information of someone they could contact, success stories, showing how many long-term employees we have. Do you have 99% or 98% employees with 10 years or more? Candidates ask that question. They ask me that question when I'm representing and recruiting for a company. They want to know. Photos of past social events with employee involvement, and highlight any internal mobility and training. How many people in your organization were promoted from within? Candidates ask that question. I'm asked that question. So those are that's what I mean by career page enhancement, just to give you some specifics. Glassdoor campaign. So the third place that the employee goes after they see your job post is Glassdoor and Indeed reviews. So you definitely need to be watching these to make sure that the reviews are positive, and to respond to reviews that are negative, and respond in a professional way, in an open-minded way, when there's a negative comment about your practice. So the Glassdoor campaign is basically once or twice a year asking your employees to go out there and do a post, a social media post about their experience working for you. And it's extremely powerful. It's called social proof. And that is that people find more credibility in what they read on the internet from others than they do from what they read, from management or hear from management. Play number 3, and the top 3. If you do anything out of these 32, do the top 3. These will get you the biggest bang for your buck. Maximize your employee referral program. It is one of the most effective ways to increase your candidate flow. And most of the candidates, it is known amongst the HR world, and certainly there have been studies on it, that the employee referral program will generate the best quality candidates for your organization, because the individuals know the culture, and they know the work, and they know the dynamics of your workplace personally. Without a doubt, it is it is a mass generator of good quality candidates. Play 4, targeted social media advertising with streaming rich graphic ads. You can again use a PR Works. There's other companies, David de Blasio in Boston. He is a social media marketer. You cannot do this yourself. You need, certain technological tools to do that. But guess what? Candidates use social media extensively today. You're missing it if you're not doing a social media marketing campaign for candidates. And this is kind of what we do for clients. All of these tactics are what we do for our clients because they don't have time to be doing all of this, but all of it pulls in candidates and gives you a rich applicant flow. This is Play 5, partnerships with schools, and we do know a lot of our clients, maybe they'll send a flyer to the school, but there's not some more robust interaction with the school. What I mean by that is you visit and you present classes at schools, i.e. your people go to the schools, you hold open houses at your practice, to your organization for those students who are about to graduate, holding full-day workshops based on student curriculum, having students assigned to work on real-world projects for credit, offering internships and that type of thing. So it's really being really more connected with the guidance counselors and the instructors. And once you kind of adopt a school, you're not going to do this with 15 schools, but you kind of hone that relationship over the years. So it's not, like I said, a one and done, a one-time thing. It's, every 6 months we're going to get together with every 6 months I'm going to go to the classroom and talk to those. And even if those students aren't graduating for 2 years, when you get in there and you present to students who are 2 years from graduation, they're going to remember you and you're going to be their top choice when they do graduate, because there are so many employers trying to get at them. Place 6 is engage an employer branding consultant. So every company has an employer brand. What are you known for in the labor market? Not what you're known for as from a customer perspective, but what are you known for in the labor market? So again, you need a marketer to develop your employer brand for employees or candidates out there in the market. Sign-on bonus is it's fairly effective. I know a lot of companies don't want to use a sign-on bonus, but they definitely are effective in moving employees who are currently gainfully employed, happy where they are, but maybe enticed with a generous sign-on bonus. Competitor poaching. We have done this, for really difficult recruitment, where we basically look at a list of all the competitors and, who do we know in the industry that we know is a player, and we would cold call and go after them. And I think a lot of companies use outside recruiters like us because they don't want to do it themselves, right? Who wants to do that? You may have a relationship with a competitor, but blame the recruiter, right? We can work on magic and do what we do. And I think that's what happens a lot of times. They kind of utilize us to do this type of work, which is can be very effective actually, because in the industry who's out there. Play 9, maximize job site postings, and that's all about writing the posting. There's an art and a science to it. We actually give classes on how to write job postings that are enticing. We use some neuroscience as well, neurobehavioral concepts, sort of embedding those into the job postings. If you have a job that is tactile and is going to be hands-on, you have to use certain words that will sort of sing to that type of person. So there is an art and a science to it. It's what I see a lot of times when I take on a client is they simply have a copy of the job description plunked right on the job site, which really doesn't engage anyone. Play 10, maximize professional associations, and whether that be the Mass Dental Association or any other association, there are certainly Kate is a dental hygienist. She's involved with a lot of dental hygienist groups, and she was also assistant, so she stays involved with any of the professional associations so that she can keep her networking. It does take a lot of work, but it's definitely worth it if you're in that space, and it's certainly worth it for us. And recruiting 24/7. We recruiting 7 days a week, literally, because guess what? The candidates are available and searching for positions nights, weekends, evenings, and holidays. That's when we're getting candidates. I know, and you probably don't want to work those hours or those times just so you can get the candidates, but again, that's just what we do. That's what you have to do today to get the candidates. If you're recruiting 9 to 5 Monday through Friday, you're gonna miss out on candidates. Google keyword search campaign. This you definitely need a social media marketing to do, but it is very critical that when somebody puts in, a dental hygienist in Barnstable, Massachusetts jobs, you want your practice to go to the top. And there is a way to make that happen technologically. And again, we would connect you with the marketers who do this type of work. It's very specialized. And play 13, seamless AI search. This is using again, we do this for difficult searches. Not all searches need this, where we do an AI search and identify, how many people in the 50-mile radius have this criteria that we're looking for. And we then use a company called Sunbear, where we do an email marketing campaign to the candidates. They may be 4,000 people in a 50-mile radius. And we would send an email, 3 emails in 6 days to those candidates. We would then get a report, and then we cold call those candidates. Now, these are candidates who are working already, so they're not looking. So it can be very effective to pick up some A players this way, but extremely time consuming. And it does have a cost of about $1,000. So there is some cost to this one. Play 14, radio spot, newspaper, and billboard advertising. I've done all of them. Again, I've done everything on this presentation. Can be effective. I remember advertising on the sides of buses for CNAs in Lewiston, Maine, 20 years ago. And believe it or not, it was effective. So you want to do what others aren't. And yes, all of these things have costs. Billboard, I had one client advertise on billboards on Route 24 up towards Quincy, Mass. And he hemmed and hawed about the cost and the price, but not only did we fill the position, we developed a backlog of candidates to backfill in the event we had openings in the future. And here's the best thing. His business increased 3 times the amount before we did the billboard from after the billboard. And he kept using that billboard just for his business afterwards. So you think that it's going to be too costly, but boy, he got a lot of business out of it, as well as candidates. Boston has a Boston Best Workplace Awards. There are others. You don't have to just do Boston, but if you apply, and it does take effort and time, you know, to fill out the application process, look into these awards. If you achieve these awards, this is something candidates pay attention to. I worked for South Coast Health Systems, and we won a best workplace award from US News. And we advertised this tremendously, and it got us so many candidates. Candidates would just apply to us because we won the award. And even if the award was 5 years ago, they still saw the award, and we were still generating candidates years later. Flyer campaign, this seems really simple, but we have a whole flyer production in my nephew who does this particular work. And it's literally mailing flyers to potential candidates. And we may mail them to libraries, community centers. It is just down and dirty, old-fashioned churches. We really, you know, try to dig into the community based on where we're looking. And it's effective. It's a simple thing. You know, the first question we ask is, you know, why did you apply to our position? How did you learn of our opening? And you know, we do hear, well, I saw a flyer. Provide a company insider sign up and quarterly newsletter for applicants. CVS does a fantastic job with this. If you apply to CVS, you'll see what I mean. You could just apply to CVS and see what they, you know, and see what they send to you, because every quarter they will send you a newsletter updating you on openings and updating you what's happening in the company. Outstanding way to generate applicants. Play 18, hold an annual combination open house job fair. This is really helpful. We have several of our dental office practices that are going through renovations and additions. So that is the time you want to do that. You want to invite, you know, any local dental professional, whether it be dentist, assistant, hygienist, office manager, once you have that renovation or addition done. Play number 19, annual conference based on industry. And that would be attending maybe the Yankee conference and setting up a table there, or creating, you know, or offering a conference yourself, you know, with a speaker in the dental industry, something that will attract folks to obtain some of the educational credits. A monthly industry group. I had one organization establish this, you know, for dental assistants and dental hygienists together, and where they established a group, they invited folks in the industry, and they just have a really kind of just collegial friendly group, and they talk about, you know, dental hygienist and dental assistant issues, whether it be equipment, tools, the work, or the industry. These two, 21 and 22, military and recruiting folks with disabilities. Sometimes we have clients who are interested in this. There's obviously a dentist, dental assistant, and dental hygienist in the military, and there are obviously people getting out looking for work. So you want to try to tap into these two sources. There's a whole, I think I have a 3-page list of how you tap into the military recruitment sources, and a 2-page list on folks with disabilities in both government, and tons of sites that you can recruit in these two areas. Annual scholarship program. I think that this is so this is a scholarship where for your employees. And how is this a recruitment tactic? It's definitely a recruitment tactic, because the people who apply for scholarships end up becoming your employees, number one. Number two, when candidates see that you offer a scholarship, they apply to you as opposed to somebody else who does not offer a scholarship. And I developed a scholarship at one company in Fall River, Mass, 15 years ago, and today it is still in use. And out of this scholarship program, they, on average, we would hire maybe 8 to 10 people every year because of that scholarship program. So definitely something you want to consider where you offer tuition reimbursement or just a scholarship. And many companies are offering the scholarship for sons and daughters of employees as well as grandchildren. Play number 24 is recruit declinations. So you want to look at who declined offers and why they declined offers and try to re-recruit them. Now that's assuming that you corrected the issue that they declined, the reason they declined in the first place. If the issue was pay, if you've then adjusted your pay to be market competitive, now you can go back to that candidate and try to re-recruit them, or whatever the issue was. If the issue was scheduling, that it's assuming that you've resolved the issue, which led to their declination. 25 is re-recruit, and that's re-recruit folks who used to work for you because they may have interest in coming back. The grass isn't always greener, right? And they find that out once they're out there. 26, this is a very, you think that it wouldn't pull and generate some increased applicant flow, but it absolutely does. So this would be not just your leaders, office manager and dentist, but also all of the folks in your office where you require that they become involved with a charitable organization locally. And whether they are on a board, they attend meetings, they participate in whatever activities in the charitable organization. And from that, your folks are networking with others and they're gaining additional contacts. I can tell you that I was on the Chamber of Commerce for years and years, going to a monthly meeting, and every single month I walked out with resumes, every month. And what we ended up doing at this one particular company was every leader, and there were 85 leaders, became a member of a charitable organization. And all of a sudden, our applicant flow went through the roof because we had so many people out there networking for the company. It can reduce actually your advertising costs as well, because all of these additional applicants really came for free. Play 27 is to provide each new hire with their first 3 assignments. This is a program where each new hire has to, within 90 days, go on social media and post what their experience has been as a new employee. Extremely powerful to recruit candidates in this fashion, because potential candidates are out there and they're looking at how the newbies fared and what they thought about working for your company. So extremely powerful. The other assignment is they have to have lunch with the dentist or the office manager at the 90-day mark. And the third assignment is they have to meet their mentor. So you definitely want to use a mentorship program in the office so that your new hires do not leave. They are 4 times more likely to leave the organization than hires, folks that have been there, employees that have been working for your organization for a year or more. Grow your own, and that is to develop your own staff. If you have folks on the front desk and they want to become an assistant, develop a training program, help them via tuition reimbursement. If they're assistants and want to become a hygienist, same thing. So set up a path, a progression for advancement within your organization. Very powerful. Plank 29, be creatively responsive to the times. What do I mean by that? Well, I've had clients get really creative. You have to be innovative with what you're offering today. I had a client, and we had difficulties with getting people to get to the office and so forth. We offered a mileage reimbursement. We offered a inflationary quarterly bonus because of the inflation and the times today, and the economic times today. Free pony. I had another recruiter send us a text on a dental hygienist position, listing all of these goodies and benefits and perks, and also listed a free pony, just to be whimsical. But be creative to the times, offering things. I have one client that keeps a fully stocked kitchen for all employees at all times. And I have another client that has provides lunch every day for all staff members. They actually hired a company to provide that lunch, as opposed to you doing it yourself. Those are the kind of out of the box benefits and perks that people will move for. Now, granted, you have to still pay market. If you're paying below market, all of the current perks and benefits really don't make an impact, because the dollar is still king. And I know some organizations may struggle with being able to pay the market rate, but you've got to be there in order to attract candidates. If you are below market rate, you will not be able to attract A and B players. You might be able to attract C players, but A and B players are going to be able to demand market rate. Play 30 is having an active presence on LinkedIn, Facebook, and social media. This is a must. Candidates are on the internet constantly. So you definitely want to make sure that you have birthday parties in the office. That's got to go on LinkedIn. You have an anniversary, somebody's hit the 5-year, you have a party in the office. It's got to be shown on LinkedIn. Get t-shirts for your staff with your company logo, and show that at a cupcake time, for refreshments, and just as a sort of a thank you for staff. Put it on LinkedIn, Facebook, social media. It's got to be out there. Candidates are hunting for this. They're very, very active on the internet. Play number 31, and hang in there. We're almost there, Joanna. Targeted searches. So this is when we are looking for a very specific position, like, a certain dentist that has certain skills, and certain years of service, experience level and so forth. We basically have to reach out to them multiple times. Now, these are people who are not looking, right? This is what we do. And this is why folks go, use recruiters, because it's the cold calling that takes a long time. And the old marketing tenet that 5 to 6 times you have to hear something, see something, read something before you actually decide to purchase something. You think that that's not true, but it is. And I see it played out in recruiting, where I have 500 candidates I've reached out to for one particular company, and I'm on the 4th outreach for those 500 people. And I see after the 4th time that I'm getting more response than the 1st, 2nd, and 3rd time. So it is known that in the HR circles that the top recruiters, the ones that are filling the most positions, are the recruiters that have reached out 4 or 5 times to a candidate. And these are, again, passive candidates. Passive candidates aren't looking. Though, that's mostly why you hire recruiters. So think about that. They're not the candidates that you get, you know, from posting ads. And then finally, number 32, maximize mobile technology, texting, and make sure that your candidates have the ability to apply on the job, apply on their phone, because if they don't, then that's going to be a problem. But you know, you want to maximize texting candidates. There are programs for this. If you're not familiar with them, again, those social media marketing folks definitely are. We don't see a reduction in the use of technology as it relates to recruiting. We see an increase, which is why I have to partner with social media marketers and so forth, and PR, you know, PR companies, marketing companies. You know, it's just not HR anymore. It's sort of a whole team approach. But these 32 tactics are battle tested. I've used them all to increase candidate flow, and successfully. So I know you can't do all of them, but Joanna, I would love to hear, you know, what you thought. Did you get anything out of it? Any tactics you think you can implement? You know, the more you can do, the more chance you'll have to increase your candidate flow by yourself, without having to hire a recruiter.
Yeah, so I think that I'm gonna get on Glassdoor. I wasn't familiar with that